Now let's look at some variations with this cross curve. The circle command, I'll lock to the YZ plane, and right where it intersects here I'll put in a circle 25. Right mouse click and I'll place another circle at 19. Let's look at this from the sketch view also. A lot easier to work with in 2D. Draw a couple of lines and then I'll come to the trim button, trim this out. Now I'm ready to come to the sweep command, identify the cross curve, identify my new sketch. Now while I'm here I'm going to pull down under the box command and go to sphere, and right on the cross curve there I'm just going to place a sphere. Let's make that about 8.6. And I'm going to change the color for that also so it's easy to see. Let's take a closer look at what's happening with the cross curve command. This time I'll start with a circle, make that 100, turn off the lock. I'll come to the YX plane, and this time I'm going to put the center of the circle really close to the axis here. So I'll push this out, say 100. Actually that's just off center there. So I'll rotate this around, come out to surfacing, cross curve, and find my first circle, then my second circle. Now, again, depending on how close that center is to the axis, that controls this distance right here, how close this is. If I'd gone out a little further, this would be a little higher. Also with a circle, this is a lot more smooth here. When you use an ellipse, this gets tighter and tighter in here. So if you wanted a ball to roll around here, you'd be better off using a circle. I'm going to come back and simply place a line on this XY plane. Just go about here and I'll just put a line across here. Come back to symmetric offset. Let's change this to say 2. Now I'll come up to the sweep command, select my cross curve. I'm going to come up here to normal to curve. Right at the end of that line, I'm just going to put a reference plane. And then I'm going to come over here to sphere. And let's lock to that plane. And right at that midpoint there, just type in say 5, and I'll put a sphere right there. Now I'll come back to that sphere, and I'll come up here to rectangle, pattern along curve. So I'd like to use this curve. There's my start point running in that direction. Let's put in, say, 30. And green check mark.